If you've ever wanted to know what I bring with while I go on a family film, now's your chance. I'm getting ready to do a family film in 2 days, so I will take you along as I get my gear ready. Hey, I'm Jen, and I help photographers, specifically family photographers, who want to get into family filmmaking by adding video to their services. In this video, I'm going to show you the gear that I would bring with on a typical shoot, so let's get started. So let's talk about what a family film is first. A family film is about 2-hour-long session that I go into a client's home, and they basically just are a family as is, and the whole point of it is to capture everyday life. It's to capture the raw, real moments that happen with kids that will be forgotten one day because time goes so fast. And while I'm there for those 2 hours, I'm just kind of a fly on the wall helping tell the story. I'm going to be focusing on getting video clips while also getting some documentary photos, and if the family chooses, we'll also squeeze in a few post photos at the very end of the session. I like to use 2 cameras when I am family filmmaking. The first that I use is my Nikon Z7ii. This is a mirrorless. It is excellent for video. The specs that this camera has, I can go up to 60 frames per second at 4K, which was very important to me as I expand into 4K for filmmaking. That was a huge choice in buying this camera. For me, delivering a high quality product to my clients that is 4K that will look great on screen 5-10 years from now was important to me as I upgraded cameras, so 60 frames per second was a non-negotiable. The second camera I'm going to be using is my trusty Nikon D750. Yes, I still like to shoot my stills with a DSLR, and I do also have the Z6, which is actually filming me at the moment, and I've done a lot of photos on both of them. I just don't love the color quality as much as I love it on my DSLR. And that's the reason that I still shoot with this camera. This is such a solid, tried and true camera. I love this thing. I would buy 3 more. They don't actually produce them anymore, so you'd have to buy them used, which I'm totally fine with, but I wouldn't be surprised if I had another one of these babies lying around by the end of the year just as a backup. I love it that much. The lens that I'm using is the Nikkor 28-75 2.8. This is the Z lens that goes specifically with the Z camera. You can also have a Z camera that has an adapter, and you can use whatever Nikon lenses you already have. I wanted to buy a specific Z lens that was a zoom that seamlessly went with this camera. It's quicker than if I have the attachment. I'm really happy with this lens. Now, there is a 24-70. They do have a 24-70 2.8 lens. However, this one is about $1,000 less. It's only 4 millimeters of a difference. So I just figured the 28-75, I actually like having a little bit longer of a lens anyway. When I'm filming, the 28-75 will stay on my camera the whole time. I never take this off. It's such a versatile lens for the focal length that I need to be getting into the story with the family, be on their level. I can still get a nice wide shot if I back up and get the whole room. I can get tight and get into, you know, the little lovey-dovey moments. So this is my go-to lens for filming. I've had nothing but good things to say about it, so highly recommend that. When I'm shooting stills, I like to only use primes. So right now my Nikon D750, which I'll be shooting stills with, has a 50mm 1.8 lens on. The other lens that I like to use for stills is the Nikkor 35mm 1.4. I like to use the 35 just to really take in the whole scene. It's a really good storytelling lens. I will also bring my Nikkor 85mm 1.8 for when I'm shooting the family at the end of the day for more of a formal, if you will, styled post-portrait. Nothing beats the 85. The compression, I think, is the most flattering focal length for facial features, and I also love the way it compresses the back, and the bokeh on this thing is awesome. It, in my opinion, is the best portrait lens out there. So I will bring this with for portraits, but when I'm photographing the family in their home doing whatever they're doing, I'll be going between the 50 and the 35, put one of these on and leave it there most of the time. The 85 is the go-to lens for portraits. This is the Holdfast Moneymaker. It is a harness system. It goes on like this. Listen closely. When you have one of these puppies on, you do want to wear a ponytail because your hair will get stuck in these little loops, and it's constantly pulling. So I do usually wear a ponytail, just a little tip there. But I like to have my my camera that I shoot stills with on my left, and I like to have my camera that I shoot video with on my right. That's just how I have gotten used to it. So I would go ahead and attach this camera. It screws into the bottom, so I know that that is very secure. And then it also has this secondary rope that attaches to the side. And I have all Peak Design items, so I have my little Peak Design anchors. I used to have a rapid strap, and what I didn't love about my rapid strap, great product. I did like the actual strap, but two times this happened to me where it screwed into the bottom, and for reasons unknown, it gets unscrewed and my camera just fell onto, both times, of course, it was concrete. So I just stopped using the rapid strap for that reason, and I moved on to this harness system. Okay, I had to switch the way I'm sitting. My 40-year-old knees cannot take this anymore. All right, so when I'm doing video, I can pull it up, and I've adjusted this to be the exact length I want it to be so that I still have the ability to anchor my arms and have a steady camera. So if I'm shooting, I either use a harness system like this, or I have two of these Peak Design straps. I cannot recommend Peak Design more. Look at this. You pull the tab up and you can adjust your strap to wherever you need it to go, and then you just push the tab down and it's secure. How quick and easy is that to adjust compared to old-fashioned kind of straps where you have to figure out that little hook and loop situation that never works. I can never figure those things out. This is probably a 10-year-old strap, still works just like new. And the other thing I love about these is the system that they have to attach to the camera. You have these Peak Design anchors, and attached to your strap is this black piece that connects with the anchors, slides right in, and locks it in place. That thing is not going anywhere. Now, if you want to remove the strap, all you have to do is press down on the anchor. There's kind of a springboard piece on that black attachment that allows the anchor to be released. So I really love those straps. So if I'm only going to be shooting one camera, I'm always using my Peak Design straps. Let's talk audio. When I am filming the family, I like to have something that will constantly be picking up the audio regardless of if I have the record button running or not. I have my H5 handy recorder from Zoom. Not only does it use these to pick up the ambient audio of the family, if I am shooting an event and I have to plug into somebody's system to record microphone audio, let's say, then I can do that from the bottom here. I personally like the versatility of having both of that. The downside of this is it is big. So if I'm going to set it close to the family, a lot of times it ends up in my video shots. I will normally try to set something on top of it like a stuffed animal or whatever to hide it. Other than that, the sound quality that comes out of it and the versatility that you have with the menu and all the options, love it. Love this thing. It does come with a dead cat as well if you were to want to use it outside. Be careful where you set this, because I once set it on a table and then a kid kicked the table the whole time. Every 4 seconds on the recording, the audio recording was picking up the kicking of the table. So this whole audio is pretty much unusable. Therefore, this little guy it came in clutch. This was my backup, and I ended up using the audio just straight off of the camera, and it turned out all right, but definitely prefer the audio out of here. And it does have a thread on the back of here if you needed to put it onto a stand or something like that, you could do that as well. I do have another option, which I'll put on the screen here and that I will link in the description below, is a little bit smaller of a microphone that could be used to hide a little bit better. It has a little less functionality, but it has great sound quality and is a great option for somebody, especially if you're just beginning and you don't want to invest in something that would be a little bit more expensive like this. Next, I have my on-camera mic. This just goes on top of my film camera. It's the VideoMicro Compact on-camera mic. Typically, do not use the audio that comes out of the camera. I do put this on here as a backup. The audio that your camera alone is going to pick up is just not great. This just picks up better quality audio, and you can program how you want it to pick up. If you want it to pick up within focal range or a wide range, you can change that right in your menu settings. The third kind of audio that I like to have on hand is a little lav mic, the Tascam DR-10Ls. These are great for if you want to interview a kid or a parent. This is easy to just clip onto a shirt and flip it on, and you will have great, it really does pick up great quality audio. I have two of these actually. I'm using one to record myself right now. So it's going to record onto this micro SD. So it is going to be a separate file when you're loading it onto your computer. This does not sync up to your camera. It records straight to the little box. Now, the nice thing about that is you know that if something were to happen with the camera, if the camera shuts off, you're still gonna get your quality audio. For example, a lot of wedding videographers will use this because they don't want to have to rely on something Bluetooth that is far away from their camera and it's on the groom, let's say, and then their camera is all the way back down the aisle. They can't rely on that Bluetooth syncing up. So I have 2 of these. They have done me so well. I've used them so many times. So I like to have these as an option just in case we want to interview a parent or interview a kid about what they love and, you know, school right now and whatever. So I usually bring these with, don't always use them, but I like to have the option. So a couple of extras that I really like to have in my bag just in case are neutral density filters. I have a couple of different ones in different sizes, and what these do is they go onto your camera and you can turn them and it will change, it'll add a stop or so many stops to your camera without having to change your aperture. Another extra I like to bring is my ExpoDisk. I do like to make sure that I have a custom white balance when I'm in families' homes, because sometimes we have mixed lighting situations just depending on light. It's people's homes, you guys. It's not like a professional studio with professional lighting. So I have to punt a lot of times, and having this little guy saves my butt a lot. So this is the ExpoDisk and it helps you out with your white balance. So I do have the small HD external monitor that I could mount on top of here and plug in, and it just gives me a larger LCD to look at than here. However, I do find that the Nikon Z7ii's LCD is big enough for me to be able to handhold and touch the screen to get my focus. Plus it just adds weight and bulk to this camera, which I want to be able to sling up and have ready to go at any point. So I don't typically use this. I will make a list of all of the gear that I'm bringing with in the description below, along with links so that you can check it all out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to my page so that you can come for more content on how to add video to your services as a photographer, and maybe you'll want to become a family filmmaker. I would love that. Sign up for the email list down below as well. I have got a retreat and a course for family filmmakers coming out very soon. See you in the next video.